The Jeep Gladiator seemingly has it all. Fantastic towing capacity, extremely good interior space, a choice between a modern and traditional powertrain, and above all else, unrivaled off-road capability. But despite these qualities, the Gladiator is by far the worst selling and amongst the worst rated midsize pickup trucks out there, with its popularity dwindling rapidly with every coming year. As a result, the Gladiator sold less than 10,000 units for the third quarter of 2024, which is almost 6 times less than the Tacoma. So let's not waste any time and let's take a deeper look at why nobody's buying the once venerable Stellantis truck and give you 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy the Jeep Gladiator too. Number 5. Abysmal reliability and quality control. Let's face it, Stellantis has become synonymous with low quality, and the Jeep Gladiator is not just an exception to this rule, but a prime example. Everything, and we do mean everything, with this vehicle seems to have some kind of issue, especially for the pre-redesigned model. With it, you could see premature wear of the seats, constant issues with the infotainment screen, and the 3.6-liter Pentastar's V6 usual stream of issues, and many others. You could also experience paddle caps that are as wide as the thumb and mismatched paddles, as well as discoloration and even premature rust. Simply put, the Gladiator was undoubtedly the worst truck in its segment when it comes down to overall quality of craftsmanship. There are also an abundance of problems with both the 6-speed manual and the 6-speed Aisin automatic gearbox, especially the former, which is quite interesting as manual transmissions are generally more reliable than an auto. Both develop leaks, tend to slip, and are quite known for prematurely kicking the bucket. And while this has been improved with the 2024 redesign, the vehicle still has left a lot to be desired. Sure, the seats were made to a higher standard, and Jeep did give a bit more thought to the Gladiator's overall quality. It's still a far cry from a semi-reliable vehicle. Electrical gremlins are still present in full throttle, and while the interior layout and tech has been improved, the overall feeling of cheapness is still omnipresent. As such, if you're looking for a reliable and well-made vehicle, we'd suggest you look elsewhere. Late 90s Hyundai would probably be a better choice than this heap of nuts and metal. Number 4. The powertrains are mediocre at best. While the engines aren't well built, they sure as hell are good for something, at being uninteresting. Seriously, how could Jeep screw this up? The Gladiator is based on the Wrangler, which allowed Jeep to utilize the power of a PHEV powertrain, a Hemi V8, a 3.6 V6, and a 2.0 turbocharged unit. Plus, Stellantis had also introduced the 3.0 Hurricane 6 to its brands, and that engine would have been perfect for the Gladiator. So, did it get it? No, of course not. The Gladiator has been exclusively offered with a 3.6 V6, which is arguably the most uninteresting engine of the bunch due to how mediocre its power levels were and how dated it was. There was a 3-liter turbo diesel option too, which was probably the best engine of the entire lineup due to how torquey and how fuel efficient it was. However, it has gone to the eternal hunting grounds a couple of years ago and wasn't replaced up until this year. For the 2025 model year, Jeep introduced the PHEV powertrain from the Wrangler, which was a good addition, but is arguably the one that the Gladiator needed the least. They could have instead offered the V8 and marketed the Gladiator as the only midsize pickup truck with a big ol' 8-cylinder lump under the hood. Old souls like us would have loved it, and it would have definitely bumped up the Gladiator sales. They could have also used the Hurricane 6 engine to bump power and torque figures, but no. They decided that the PHEV route was the best course of action. It doesn't help that the Hurricane 4 engine used here is a very mediocre power plant at best, especially in terms of reliability. Jeep seemingly doesn't understand its customer base, and they keep on listening less and less to them. Well, at least they're not as clueless as Jaguar, right? Number 3. No bed options. Again, how in the world did Jeep mess this up? One of the key reasons behind their lack of success is the sheer lack of options when it comes down to the Gladiator. Whatever you buy, you essentially get the same vehicle. Same engine, same body style, same transmission, same everything. And while some of this has been mitigated with the introduction of the PHEV, one of the biggest issues, lack of body, and more importantly, bed options, hasn't. The Jeep Gladiator, even 5 years after it first hit the market, comes with a 5-foot bed as the only option. 5 feet. That's it. The unibody Honda Ridgeline beats it out, for God's sakes. Apart from that, it also comes as a crew cab as the sole option, which makes even less sense because making an extended cab would have made things far easier on Jeep when talking about offering practicality and utility. By offering the same length but extending the bed space to 6 or at least 5.5 inches, Jeep could have easily catered to the working man and ranchers. Plus, it's not like they have to develop God knows what to make it happen. 80% of the interior and exterior features could have been taken straight from the 3-door Wrangler. As such, we're completely awestruck at how stupid of a decision Jeep made by not making the Gladiator a more varied pickup truck that would target a wider audience. But then again, we're talking about Stellantis here, so we aren't particularly surprised at their dumbness. Number 2, ride quality and dynamics needed to be better. People that are out for a midsize pickup truck are looking for a true do-it-all vehicle, something that'll be sufficiently capable and drivable on the road while retaining some semblance of comfort while also being capable when going off the pavement. And guess what? The Jeep Gladiator isn't that. Now, we're not thrashing the Gladiator's off-roading capability. That's undeniably the best part about it, and it is by far the best off-roader in its segment. However, to achieve that, Jeep had to sacrifice a lot, most of which is the daily usability of the truck on the road. You can kiss any driving rigidity on the road goodbye, as the Jeep Gladiator is so soft and so imbalanced in the bends that it's more akin to jello than a vehicle. You can expect immense, and we do mean immense amounts of body roll with it, which is both unsafe and uncomfortable. If you have kids or grandkids, you can definitely expect them to get sick on longer journeys, and it doesn't get better around town. Sure, the soft suspension does absorb bumps quite well, but it'll do it in such a jiggly fashion that it would completely defeat the point of the softness. It feels pretty unsettled around town. So if you're eyeing a Jeep Gladiator, you better be looking for an off-roader primarily. Number 1, pricing is simply way too high. Despite being such a compromised vehicle, the Jeep Gladiator is pretty expensive for what it is. The Gladiator lineup nowadays starts from just under 40 grand, and for that kind of money, you get a steering wheel, electric windows, and an automatic gearbox. Which is weird that we have to mention it because the previous model year came with a steering wheel exclusively. The other two had to be paid for. You want LED headlights? Optional extra. You want nicer wheels? Optional extra. You want more advanced infotainment screens? Optional extra. A non-white color with painted bumpers? You guessed it, optional extra. Now, we all know what you're thinking. Well, it's a base model. What do you expect? And while this is a valid argument for defending a Chevy Colorado, you have to remember that it, alongside, well, every other midsize pickup truck, costs drastically less than the Gladiator. If you want a Gladiator that is sufficiently equipped, you'll have to shell out more than 46 grand and get the willies. And even then, you'd be missing out on more than a couple of things, and that shouldn't be the case because this is already in the F-150 and Ram 1500 price territory, and both of those can run circles around the Gladiator in every possible way. So why is Jeep charging us this much? Well, because they can. They know that the Gladiator in this form can't really garner buyers towards it. It's far too situational of a vehicle to work, no matter the price. And they know that those who seek a Gladiator, such as off-road junkies, farmhands, and ranchers, as well as posers, will shell out whatever kind of money for it because it represents the only vehicle that can properly serve them in their field of work. But even they understand how bad this practice is, and even they are streaming away from the Gladiator as the price combined with the corporate malpractice has grown to an unbelievable level. Thanks for watching and see you next time.